Larian did what? They announced a new release date for Baldur's Gate 3 and it's not a delay. Who does that? They also announced races, classes, level cap, origin characters, difficulty settings, and more. Everybody strap in as we go through all the news from the latest community update. Let's take it from the top by scrolling way down to the bottom of this community update. 35 days to release. PC release have been moved from 31st of August to the 3rd. I don't know why, but this is stressing me out a little. Ever since I learned about Baldur's Gate 3 being in development, this day has seemed so far away. And now it's here. I'm really excited, but also, how is time moving this fast? It says in the community update that the PC release is at a time when more of us will be able to play more, because a lot of people still have a little bit of vacation left, I guess. Personally, I think they decided that if they can move a bit further away from the release of Starfield, that's probably not a bad idea. To which I say, who's gonna play Starfield in 2023 anyway? The obvious play was to spend a year playing Baldur's Gate 3 and get a patch Starfield on discount next year. So yeah, that was the big bombshell of all the news in this community update, but we're far from done. Let's take a look at all of the other things announced here, starting off with the level cap. So originally, Larian said that the max level of the game would be 10. Many of us felt like that was a bit low and that a lot of really cool spells and abilities would be just out of reach. Larian later said that they will have a higher level cap, but not how high that would be. Now we know. They will raise it from 10 to 12. Which is great, because at level 11, all classes get a new ability. If you're a spellcaster, you get your first 6th level spell, and if you're some other class, you get another class-specific ability. Then at level 12, every class gets another ability score improvement. And the most important thing here is what that leaves room for. Yes, all the other levels. And where will we get those levels, you might wonder? Personally, I hope it's in a Throne of Ball-like expansion, or maybe even a Baldur's Gate 4. A new game where you'll be able to import your character from BG3. I think Larian have had, if not plans, then at least hopes for this since deciding to cap the game at level 10. So, we got what we wanted. Halforks and Dragonborn will be in the game at launch, which brings the total of playable races up to 11 with 31 subraces. 10 of those are Dragonborn subraces. The color of the Dragonborn determines their damage and resistances, and we'll get to choose between black, blue, brass, bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, and white. Take that, guide makers. Halforks come with 2 pretty nice perks. One is that they hit like trucks, tripling their damage on critical hits instead of doubling it like other races. And Relentless Endurance, which means that once per long rest, instead of dying when they normally would, they drop to 1 HP. Perhaps this is the new difficulty setting they were talking about. Play Halfork and the game is easy. So here they are, all the races for launch. On top of that, we now know that the game will launch with 12 classes with a total of 46 subclasses, one of them being the brand new Monk class. The Monk class comes with 3 subclasses: Monks of the Open Hand, who focus heavily on unarmed combat, Shadow Monks, who are sneaky ninja monks, and Monks of the 4 Elements, who are monk spellcasters. Larian say that they've home ruled the class quite a bit to make them feel as powerful as other classes by giving them more key and creating all new actions for us to use. And here are all the classes for 1.0. And look at how many of these subclasses that are new. Every class has a new subclass, the cleric has 4 new subclasses, and the wizards have 6. Once again, guide makers will have things to do for years. So this one is very interesting. We now have confirmation that we'll be able to have Karlach in our party and that she'll be one of the origin characters. I am a big fan of this. I'm very interested in the Blood War. I think it's a fascinating part of world building with very interesting implications not only for the evil population of the world, but for the good one as well. All the way from the poor souls being tricked by devils to the gods that rule them. Having read and played Descent into Avernus, I think Sariel is one of the more interesting characters in D&D, and I can't wait to learn more about her place in Baldur's Gate 3, and I think Karlach will help a lot in that department. Also, Karlach might be one of our first really good characters. I'm not familiar with Will's alignment, cause Will, but Larian have said that most of our companions in early access have been evil or neutral. Karlach is described as a good-hearted beast in battle who seeks justice for the oppressed. I was leaning towards Shadowheart before, but Karlach may very well be the first origin character I play. But not only that, we know that Halsin, Minsk, Jaheira, and Minthara will be able to be in our party, but not as origin characters, and that we'll get a 7th origin character that they'll reveal at the next panel of Hell at the 7th of July. Who can it be? What do you guys think? Is it someone we've seen in early access already, or will there be a brand new character introduced? Personally, I hope more than anything that it's Barca's roots. A bunch of new spells will be added to the game at launch. For the sake of brevity, I won't go through all of them, but here they are. I'm especially looking forward to the chance of giving my enemies a seizure and a slimy doom. And what's a Baldur's Gate game without the ability to accidentally gas your entire party with a misplaced cloud kill? Oh, the memories. Finally, there will be new difficulty settings added on top of the normal difficulty we've seen in early access. For those that only play this kind of game for the story, which probably is a lot of people, there will be a story mode where fights are easier. And there will be a hardcore mode where fights are harder. Enemies will be tougher to kill and their AI will be smarter. They'll prioritize squishy targets and go in for kills if they can. And a lot of fights will be adjusted by giving enemies supportive spells and consumables that make the fights harder still. This is great news. Some people will want a big challenge straight out of the gate. And if all of this wasn't enough reason to start more than one playthrough, trying the game again but on hardcore does add to the replayability of the game. That's it for today, everyone. I hope you're as excited as I am. At the release of this video, we're 1 month away from the full release of Baldur's Gate 3. I need to go decide what race and class I'm gonna play. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help a small creator like me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.